It's WrestleMania. Peter Andre, if you're watching for the second tier video in a row, I'm trying to make Peter Andre remix of Insania happen this WrestleMania season. Maybe it's too late. Maybe
he's a surefire for straight to hell. He can't be doing anything right now, right?
Just chasing all the mysterious girls, isn't he?
Yeah, fair play.
Been doing that for 30-odd years now. Anyway, I am Gary YouTube from Cultaholic Wrestling, and welcome back to this tier list ranking malarkey. It's WrestleMania season, so of course we're doing yet another WrestleMania-flavored tier list with another Gary YouTube. How are you doing, Adam? Gary?
Gary, I'm very well. How are you?
I am tickety-boo. Samuel, hit the intro, please, Bonnie lad. Beautiful boy still, the meaning behind that one. Right then, so just in case you haven't been here before, we have several tiers that I still need to read out because I still can't remember them off the top of my head. We have the best.
How long's it been?
It's been nearly 2 years, Adam, and I still don't know them off by... Let's try it off by heart. The best, lovely, all right, just about bearable, and get in the bin.
Get in the bin, he's done it!
I shouldn't doubt my mental capacity, Adam. I do that all the time because I'm a stupid man. Anyway, we have 25 special WrestleMania entrances to go through because if we did them all, I know we're going to miss somebody's favourite. We're going to annoy somebody in the comments down below. But if we did them all, we'd still be here just before WrestleMania 38. So we've got 25 to go. Here we go, Adam. John Cena's gangster entrance at WrestleMania 22. It's the Great Depression, everybody, featuring CM Punk.
Right. The video package before he comes out is really cool. Nice voiceover work. It's fun, but it comes out, and immediately I remember watching this at the time, and he's got his jacket on like that, and it looks like he's about to flash the crowd. There's a big Tommy gun under there, but it looks like he's about to go whoop like that.
I've got written down in my notes. It's all great until the bottom outro starts playing on the music machine. On the music machine, the bottom outro theme starts playing in the arena. Cena comes out looking like a stripper, flashes his Tommy gun, shoots it in the air. It's all for the mams, isn't it? At home.
It is. It wasn't as cool as it perhaps looked on paper, I think it's fair to say. It didn't make that much sense. I quite like it when the entrance, as I'm sure we're going to get to some of these, when the entrance is sort of references the storyline or something like that. Taker and Shawn did it really nicely. We'll talk about that in a bit. But this one was just like different for different sake, maybe. It's still not bad. It's still a bit of fun, isn't it? Punk's there. Does that...
I'm just thinking about John Cena's push being like the second coming of the Great Depression.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's a barren activity in WWE. Anyway, I don't know where to go with this one. Should we just put it in all right just as a starter and then move it up and down later?
Because I think there's a lot of good ones as well. I think that it's going to be pretty top heavy, this.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the ones that we're going to talk about anyway.
But again, some of them are like good ideas on paper. Not quite so well in execution. But next up, we have Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. He was the light against the Undertaker's darkness because he descends from heaven. He's dressed in white and he's a born-again Christian. And all of that impressive biblical religious stuff.
That's right, and this is exactly what I was talking about with when it references the storyline, and it made perfect sense. The cherry picker thing's cool. His outfit he looks like a psychic medium, doesn't he? He looks like Shirley Ghostman or something coming down there. And then you've got all of the what's the word that I'm looking for? Like the chorus, like all that stuff, and then it just goes, but he's just a sexy boy. From that to that, to be honest, raises it up in my estimations. I really like it. It's one of the best. I don't think it's Shawn's best WrestleMania entrance. I'd put it in number 2 perhaps, but it's a really strong entrance.
It is fantastic. It's just the transition. You have the angelic noises coming down as he descends from actual real life heaven. Then Goldberg's pyro on steroids happens basically, and then other side of that, he's taken off all his clothes. He's dancing like a gigolo, and Sexy Boy is playing. It just all amalgamates into one lovely package, and I agree there. Lovely. He's very much a fitting tier for that entrance there. Next up, we go to WrestleMania 22. Triple H's King of King entrance. He rises up on a throne, dressed like a metal-loving fan of like barbarians and stuff like that, but he still has a bottle of water because, as we all know, all badass barbarian metal listeners need to stay hydrated, don't they, Adam?
This is it. This is exactly what I was thinking. He's got skulls and sledgehammers and spears kicking about the place, and then a bottle of Evian there. Like, he should be drinking out of a deer horn or something. It just looks so out of place. So yeah, it starts off with King of Kings, and then it gets into the game when he finds the courage to stand up. It's a good entrance. The problem with Triple H WrestleMania entrances, for me at least, is they sort of all blur into one a little bit. They're all just like badass dad, aren't they? And like he has done different things, but he's done the throne a few times. I think that this was the first where he did the throne, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. But this is the throne that Cody put a sledgehammer through. Yeah! Go on, AEW, that'll show them.
Yeah, the war's on. I think it's a cool entrance. I because we hadn't really seen it before, I would put this in lovely, lovely, lovely. Personally.
I'll agree with that as well. I think it's a bit too cringe for me to go into the best. I know that's what professional wrestling is at times, but I don't think that's the idea that Triple H wants to portray when he sat there dressed like an actual king from medieval times coming down his badass WrestleMania entrance. He wants you to think he is the absolute dog's bollocks, doesn't he? But oftentimes he looks like a complete and utter tit.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It just, these things appear cooler in Triple H's head because his perception of cool is perhaps different to a contemporary WWE audience or a young WWE audience. Not that there's many kids watching anymore. Perception of cool.
Yeah, and I remember watching, do you remember A League of Their Own on Sky One?
No.
One of the earlier seasons of that I was watching there just because there was nothing else on. James Corden hosted it. I don't like James Corden. And they were going through which of these like outlandish entrances is the longest entrance. And it was Triple H, some boxer, and something else. And Triple H had them beat by at least a minute or two. It was staggering just to look at how long this WrestleMania 22 entrance was. And didn't we just bask in all of its glory? But lovely, lovely, lovely is where it's going. Next up, we're going to WrestleMania 32. And now, you know, the loving, you know, just normal human being inside of me are thinking, that's nice, isn't it? Shane McMahon coming down to the ring, dancing with his kids, having a great time. It's something to look back on when Shane McMahon's in his 70s and they're all grown men going, remember that time we were dancing in front of literal 100,000 people in Texas at WrestleMania. But then I put my arsehole, cynical wrestling fan hat on, and I'm thinking to myself, you're just about to go inside Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker, with the very future of WWE on the line. The lock box is floating around in the background as well. And you're pissing about dancing on this stage with your kids. There's a time and a place, Shane McMahon, isn't there?
But he wasn't scared. He wasn't scared. This was before we were all bored of Shane, isn't it? You were there for this one, right?
It was incredible. Shane McMahon's return at the start, he was gone for like 5 or 6 years at the time. He came back. That wonderful return he did on Monday Night Raw. And the storyline is you know, the big plot hole aside, it was all right, wasn't it? The future of WWE was on the line. If Shane won, he got control of something. Was it just Raw? Was it SmackDown as well? I can't quite remember. He got control of something. Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. You're thinking Shane McMahon, who at that time was still the sort of glorified stuntman in my head. He was never a full-time professional wrestler when we were growing up. He was just the guy who came an odd pay-per-view here and there a couple of times a year, would do something stupid. We would go, wow, you're good at doing stupid things. They would go away for a bit, and we would just enjoy him. But then things got a bit silly going into 2017 and 2018. But yeah, this is still very much the Shane McMahon I enjoy to remember.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it, and you're totally right about the entrance, that he perhaps should have been a little bit more intimidated of the literal zombie man. But the sentimental side of me thinks, hey, yeah, he's there with his kids. That is a lovely moment. Everybody got a little something to take away. I bet you've still got your Shane McMahon dollary bill, right?
Nah.
What?
One landed in the guy next to me's lap, and I sort of tried to snatch it, and it ripped straight down the middle.
That's bad form. You can't do that.
Well, it was the proverbial 50-50 on the halfway line on a football pitch, Adam. The ball was there to be won. One guy's coming from one side, the other guy's coming from the other side. Whoop! And it ripped.
No, come on. If it lands in his lap, that's on his person.
I didn't go, whoa, hey, reaching down there. It was like sort of in air, and then we both went at the same time. Not very good quality paper. It was like tissue paper, to be fair.
Was it? Oh, that's interesting. Have you seen all those videos of, like, there's a load of Karens at baseball games where a kid will catch a baseball, and then the Karen will grab it out of their hand and go, yeah, I've got it. That's what I'm imagining. You doing that.
I am a Karen, especially with this
I
haircut.
like it. I like it. Yeah, it's beautiful. No, I think it was a nice moment. I like the money raining down. I'd put this in lovely, lovely, lovely.
I would as well. You know, because sometimes you just need to take that arsehole cynical wrestling fan hat off and just enjoy things for what they are. And Shane McMahon was having a nice time with his kids. And his kids didn't poo the bed, proverbially, of course. They were good. They were charismatic. They danced just as well as Shane McMahon does.
Yep.
WrestleMania 35 we go on to now. Charlotte's helicopter thingy. Shades of her dad doing the same thing at NWA Great American Bash 1986. Didn't you know, Adam?
I didn't actually know that, and I've seen that event, and it totally slipped my mind. That pushes it up a little bit, doesn't it? Because apart from the ridiculous amount of fireworks, it was a fairly... the helicopter. The actual... Her walking to the ring was pretty unremarkable. It's just how Charlotte enters... Every week, really. But there was lots and lots of pyro, and the fact that they were referencing that moves it up, doesn't it? It was cool. It was obviously pre-recorded and everything, but it didn't take anything away from it.
You have to be just to be safe. Better be safe than sorry. Imagine that, watching WrestleMania live, just the helicopter spiraling through the air as Charlotte Flair tumbles to her death.
Bit dark, yeah.
The best, surely. Go on, I'm going the best, me, for this one.
I'd go lovely, lovely, lovely. If they'd done something a little bit more as she was walking to the ring, like rock stars arrive and depart in helicopters all the time. I guess it's something that we hadn't seen in WWE before. I wouldn't say it's the best. Maybe this is the me not especially enjoying Charlotte at the moment thing. Go on, put it in the best.
Oh, it's gone up to the best. I just think, this is a period of time where Charlotte Flair wasn't being contradictory on Monday Night Raw, saying, Dad, I'm sick of you being here. I'm sick of being in your shadow. Go home while I continue to wear your robe and do your woos and do your finisher and do your thing where you go into the turnbuckles and over the top and still do everything you do, Dad. This was a paying tribute to her dad. And I quite like that. I like the production value as well of Alas getting one of those entrances, because looking back at WrestleMania history, it's a proper rarity, I tell you.
Yeah, totally. No, it felt really big, didn't it?
Yeah. Number 6 we're on to now. Isn't this flying? Aren't we going very quickly?
Yeah, breezing through
these. We could
these.
have picked so many Undertaker entrances from WrestleMania past. But we'll go with sort of... it's one of the more iconic ones, I guess. WrestleMania 14, we've got the flames on the sticks. We've got the thunder. We've got that shot of Kane in the ring that sends shivers down my spine every single time I see it, where the sort of lightning lights are going off in the background and it sort of flickers off his mask and it looks terrifying as out. What do you reckon about this one?
I really loved it. I think this was the first time that we'd seen druids as part of the entrance. We'd seen the druids before on weekly TV. We'd seen it on Raw and everything. But this is the first time they'd incorporated that into the entrance, as far as I remember anyway. And I loved it. And it used a piece of music which is just so effective, which is, what's it called? O Fortuna.
Newcastle United play that before they walk out to get the crowd G'd up.
That properly poos you up, doesn't it? I'd be terrified. Undertaker walking out to the ring. That's why Kane was looking like that. I like his big collar as well. Yeah, it's a bit, isn't it? He just felt massive, despite the fact that the entranceway and the ramp and everything are actually quite small. It's not like a recent modern WrestleMania stage where it's grand. It's fairly small in comparison, but it just felt huge. It felt so big. And he was, there's a great call on commentary as well. And there he is, the Prince of Darkness. And it's ooh.
Spooky bollocks, eh?
Yeah, I really like it. I put it in the best,
Go on then.
But there are better Taker ones.
But we'll find out what the best entrance you reckon is of all time at the end of not of all time, out of this selection of 25 at the end, Adam. That's the beauty of this tier ranking malarkey. But I'd agree the best. Just watching, I don't know if it's because it's the culmination of my favourite storyline in wrestling ever, is the Undertaker and Kane's arrival in the company. This was the sort of culmination of that first chunk at WrestleMania 14, and that just all of that is just fantastic stuff for me. So in the best,
and then the match was just crap. Good. I didn't think it was crap. It was just very underwhelming.
They never have good matches, Undertaker and Kane. It's
no,
always
they
the
don't.
Journey. The journey there is always a lot better than the match itself.
Same with Matt and Jeff. It's baffling, isn't it, some of them?
I guess they are two big, sweaty men. And it's hard to do that with two big, sweaty men, I guess. WrestleMania 33 we're going to now. Triple H's entrance at the grandest stage of them all. I remember watching this one live. We were there, Adam. And I was just pissing myself laughing. Because once again, it's one of those ideas that on paper, Triple H has been presenting this idea and he's going, yeah, that'll be so badass. Me coming down on a tricycle with me wife on the back.
Tricycle. You can't call it a tricycle. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, on his three-wheeler. Sam, I remember tweeting the funniest thing that I think Sam's ever tweeted, which was American Dadass. And I was like, yeah, that's a hell of a good tweet, that. But yeah, Triple H coming out with the leather waistcoat on, looking like a metal John Virgo. He thought he was the bollocks. And then he's got the police escort as well, hasn't he? As if he's about to kick off or something. Get the fans away from me. Oh, he's so terrible. Steph on the back looks really funny as well. I want to put this in the best, but ironically, because it brought me more enjoyment than quite a lot of the ones on this list. But it's not. No, does that make it the best?
There's different shades of best. They can say there's different shades of grey in professional wrestling when it comes to characters. I reckon there's different shades of the best for WrestleMania tier rankings on the internet. So I'd agree with you there because I was pissing myself laughing. Was it not me who did that tweet, by the way? Because I'm sure I tweeted something similar. Did I go cerebral?
Oh, I remember Sam doing it because I think I patted him on the back. I was like, yeah, good job, pal. Maybe everybody was thinking it.
Give him that Twitter rub. But there we go. I'd agree. Straight in the best there. Triple H's WrestleMania entrances. We could maybe have done a WrestleMania tier all just on them by themselves because they vary from the sublime to the ridiculous to the absolutely naff. And this is somewhere in between the latter two, I guess.
No, but it's the best though still.
Yeah. Rusev now I was about to say on a train there. On a train. On a tank at WrestleMania 31. Did Lana and Rusev have sexual intercourse in that tank, Adam? Who knows?
Yes, they did. They've said like 50 times they bonked in there.
Do you believe them?
Yeah. Surely. I don't know when you would get a second. Like, because surely they're not going to go like, oh, Rusev Lana, this is the tank that Rusev, you're going to be entering in if you want to just spend 30 minutes in there. Like, when would you get a moment to do that? Maybe he's quick.
I'm just thinking about the logistics of the situation, Adam, because Rusev, as we know, is a Bulgarian brute. He's a massive man. And the cockpit, is that the right word, inside of the tank? Tiny in there. There's no room.
How do you know that?
I've been in one.
Have you?
Yeah. When I was in the Beavers. I
was in the Beavers as well.
A day at the army thing.
Dib dab dob.
All that stuff, yeah. I promise to do my best, to do my duty, to guard and to the Queen, to help each other, and to keep... That's the Cubs one. I've said the wrong one.
Oh, dear. He's embarrassed himself.
I know, what a tosser. Were you in the Cubs as well?
Yeah, I was in the Cubs. I don't really remember doing much in the Cubs. I remember having to go camping with the Beavers. And finding it really scary being outside. And then I took my sleeping bag into the toilets of the campsite that we were in and slept in there because it felt more like a house. On the pissy floor. Absolutely disgusting.
I'll tell you what, when I was in I need to put this out there because it's something I've got at home. Next time I get to see my mum when I go home, I'll have to put the picture on Instagram. I've got a medal that just reads Beaver of the Year. I was the Beaver of the Year. It's just looking back now with the different connotations of the word beaver. It's a fantastic...
How many badges?
Lots. I had the full-on sleeve going on me. That's how badass I was in the Beavers.
That's your WrestleMania entrance, isn't it?
Of course it is. Just slapping tails. I'll have all the Beavers down the side of the ramp.
Slapping tails.
Slapping tails. Slapping tails. Beavers, all are we. Remember that one?
Oh, no, you made that up.
No,
you made that up.
We used to do the thing.
Jingle bells? What?
Slapping tails because we're the Beavers.
I get it. You made that up. I don't believe that.
We used to have to get down on our haunches and go slapping tails on the floor.
On our haunches. Right, Rusev. Very, very cool entrance.
Yes, it was straight in the best.
Yeah, 100%.
I just, it was during the period of time where Rusev was the Russian sympathizer. And that, I don't know how it worked, but it just did with Lana cutting fantastic promos like she used to do when she had a Far Eastern accent, I guess. Far Eastern accent? What am I talking about here?
Yep, spot on.
That part of the world, yeah. You know what I mean? She had that accent from that...
Eastern European.
She had the Russian
accent, yeah.
She had the Russian accent, yeah, and she was good at promos. She then lost that accent and subsequently became terrible at promos. It's a weird thing of how that came about.
It's a weird one because sometimes WWE, when they do the whole sort of patriotic or in this case sort of militaristic thing, it doesn't really work with international audiences. But I was so invested in this anyway, and then the result was spot on.
It was
perfect.
John Cena at WrestleMania 25. This is the one with all of the Cenas in a row. It starts off with the basic Thugonomics theme tune. All these lads dressed as Cena come running out, stand either side of the aisleway there, and then Cena comes out, does a quick pose, and then just sprints down the middle of them while out there all going wabadoo.
Yep, I think this is probably the worst one that we're going to talk about, to be honest, because it's not cool even on paper. I don't understand what it meant. And you think about the cost of something like this. Let's say, how many do you reckon there were?
100.
50?
Yeah.
100?
Maybe
100.
Yeah.
So even if you're paying them, $100 each.
We know what the wrestling business is like, Adam. They weren't getting paid. They were just getting paid in the opportunity to stand on the WrestleMania stage and live the boyhood dream.
They weren't even in time. That's the thing. One of them starts going like that, and then the others start noticing, and it's not all like a part in the song. They all go like that. It was so staggered. It was just bad. It was just really, really bad. And yeah, they're out there, and then, oh, look, there's the real Cena at the top of the ramp, dressed the same. And why has this just happened?
Because he is the leader of the C Nation. And that we saw was the C Nation. And I've put it straight in the bin, Adam. I thought it was terrible. He's frozen. Is he back?
Hello.
He's
I'm
back. He's
Hello.
back. I've put it straight in the bin. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Straight away. WrestleMania 14 we're going back to now. Shawn Michaels with the DX band. Jim Johnston include a lovely WrestleMania moment for Big Jim, who should be in the Hall of Fame, but he isn't for some strange reason now. And the thing I love about this, Adam, is the energy. Shawn Michaels, it's a juxtaposition as well of Shawn Michaels coming out all bedazzled and whatnot in his glittery top, being all the sexy boy and whatnot. But then to the music, he just turns into this badass man. He shouts, "What's my effing name?"
This is cocky Shawn at his absolute most detestable best. He's so good here. And often with WrestleMania performances, well, they can be pretty hit or miss, can't they? The DX band live with Jim Johnson there, absolutely sensational. It was just a brilliant performance. Unlike one that we're going to talk about fairly soon, they knew the words, which is handy, isn't it? And I thought it was weird that you see DX and Shawn behind the curtain before he comes out. That's unusual for a WrestleMania thing. It has happened before, but I thought that was a bit unusual. Normally, the reveal is quite an important thing, and that was just a bit odd. But I really, really like it. I wouldn't put it in the best, but I think it's worthy of lovely.
It's one of my favourite WrestleMania entrances of all time.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Just the energy that Shawn creates and the band creates. It's Attitude Era incarnate in human form.
One thing that always bothered me is about that the DX entrance with the stuff flashing up every like half a second. I can't see what the hell's going on. My eyes aren't good enough for that, so I can't really tell what's happening here. Go on, stick it in the best then if you like it.
Go on. I'll tell you what though, speaking about that backstage thing, they brought it back for NXT, didn't they? With Kevin Owens and Finn Balor at Brooklyn #1. They brought it back. But I love the Triple H things that they must have something playing on the audio so he starts like mouthing, "He's the man. He's the man." Like, he doesn't actually speak properly. Shawn Michaels as well, like dipping his proverbial cap to Earl Hebner as well, who was having a bit of health issues around WrestleMania 14, wasn't he? He's like, "This is for you, Earl."
Yeah, good shout.
Nice little touch there from Shawn Michaels. But yeah, straight in the best for me. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it already. Let's not speak about their performance of the American National Anthem at the same event. Have you Have you heard that one? I've heard that one. I've seen it. Yeah, bloody hell.
Not quite as good as the DX song.
Undertaker, WrestleMania 9 we're going back to now. We were speaking of the druids there. I think this might have been the first time the druids were seen as part of the entrance. Yes, Undertaker was getting pulled out in his little chariot by Roman soldiers kind of thing. Were there two druids at the entranceway? Sort of half-assed ones. There's
you
one
can
in
see
the
the faces
here.
and everything. Sorry, yeah. It's all right. It's always weird when Undertaker comes out when it's daylight.
It is,
but they did a good job with all the smoke and everything. Bobby Heenan shouting, "Look at the vulture!" was great. Big fan of that. But yeah, another one that's the thing. The Undertaker, not only in daylight, but being pulled out by a load of scantily clad Romans. It's not the most iconic of Undertaker entrances. Matches.
They kept speaking about the black smoke. Oh my God, look at the black smoke. I don't know if they were hitting or getting poisoned or something, but it's just the fact it came out green. And in my childish head, Adam, it just looked like Undertaker let out a smelly fart before he came through the curtain.
Is it his worst Mania entrance?
I like it, me. I like how stoic he is when he stood there on the chariot, like he's moving, the vulture's flapping, but Taker's just
being pulled along by a load of oiled up lads.
That's just WrestleMania, though, isn't it?
That is just WrestleMania. That's right. I think this is maybe even just about bearable.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one.
We'll compromise.
The Vulture's cool.
We'll put it in all right. We're going to compromise.
All right, stick it in all
Can't
right.
allow
Yeah,
that
go
one to
on.
go a stage below Cena's Gigolo entrance at WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, all right, fair.
Do you reckon that one comes down by any chance? Or?
Leave it where it is for now.
Fair enough. But I like the call as well of Macho Man saying that Undertaker is a man who surrounds himself with so much darkness, but he sheds all of the light on all of the people.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Spot on. That's
What
his
a load
character
of
down to a
nonsense.
T.
Adam Pacitti, as we move on to the next one here, I have a message for you right now. Grab your bitches! Pimpin' easy, man.
Easy, man. Pimpin'. Right, this was the first entrance of the main card of WrestleMania 2000, and what a way to kick off the show. Everybody's in fluffy dressing gowns. Good performance by
Was it?
Ice-T. I thought it was good. He knew the words.
He forgot. Not only did he jumped in on like sort of a beat or two behind in time. He wasn't on time, but he clearly forgets the words as well. Because let me tell you, Adam, as someone who had the WWF Aggression CD bought for me when I was 8, this song being on it, by the way. So I was playing this in the car driving home. I'll never forget the look on my mum's face. As
Driving home? Wait, how old are you?
I was in the
when you're doing
passenger,
this?
the passenger seat in the car.
Oh, right. So I thought you meant like this is recent.
No, I was 8 years old. She got it from what the hell was it? Was it Dixon's? Used to do like
Yeah, I remember
sort of like
Dixon's,
CDs and like electronics and
Yeah.
stuff. Got it from there. Driving home, this one came on. I'll never forget the look she gave, just sort of down into my eyeline there as we were listening to Big Pimpin' Jumping Off and stuff like that. I think that's what the lyric is.
I got a warning in Woolworths for sticking on the WWF Anthology box set. They
Which
always
one?
used to play. I can't remember that. I think were there 3 CDs in there? It was the box set. It was the one. I think it had. I remember Undertaker being on there, the funeral march, and I remember Shawn Michaels. And they. What was it that they turned them off? I think it might have been like Right to Censor came on or something like that. Maybe that was a different type. But Right to Censor definitely, because it is just. Customers think there's a fire alarm or something. As for this entrance, it wasn't epic. It wasn't like a big WrestleMania, but it was fun. It was fun. Good performance. Great set of hose.
In a similar vein to Triple H at WrestleMania 33, I reckon it's up there with the best. You got D'Lo Brown. You got
No.
D'Lo Brown in fancy dress as a pimp. You've got Ice-T not knowing the word sort of, but he gets into it eventually. You've just got the very concept of what the Godfather was back then, and Ice-T shouting "pimping ain't easy" and "grab your bitches" and stuff like that. It's just
And we
so
did.
weird and wonderful to look back on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's odd that that's the one that they kicked off with. But again, at the same time, there's people were into it. I remember the crowd being pretty hot for it.
In places, yeah, there was other parts of the crowd which was just fantastic because you just sort of stood there going like, huh?
Oh, pimping ain't easy. Those people don't know.
Where do you reckon then? I'll let you put this one in the tier because it would go high up for me just because of how.
Go on, put it in lovely, lovely,
stupid
lovely.
it is.
We cannot have that in the best alongside some of the ones that
It's
we're talking
placed,
about.
Adam, in the tier right next to Shane McMahon dancing down to the ring with his kids. Both similar,
Nice.
similar sort of vibes
Juxtaposition
being
there.
given
Yeah,
off
I like
there.
that.
Next up, we have Motorhead playing out Triple H at WrestleMania X7, crucially, not the other one they did a couple of years later. This is all
Yeah.
about the game and how you game
How
it.
you
It's
game
all
it.
about the game
About
and
the
if you
game,
can
and
game
if you
it.
can game it. Got
Famously-
your debt, gonna pay it. I am the game, and I know I can game it. Right, I don't want to take anything away from Lemmy because the guy's a legend, and if Triple H ever watches these videos, he'll be mighty pissed off about this. But I remember watching this when it happened. And nobody was talking about the fact that Lemmy had got the lyrics wrong. Nobody cared because it was just really, really cool. And it was a good entrance. And Triple H was so into it, so intense. Because Lemmy's his hero, it was just a really cool thing to see. Good job by Lemmy as well, improvising. I don't think many people would pick up on that.
Famously, of course, Motorhead did not like the song, The Game, because it was written by Jim Johnston, but they performed it anyway, because presumably their like and love for money outweighed their disdain for that song. So all the
Fair
power
play.
to them. And I thought it was a great performance, man. I love how Triple H, when he first walks out on the stage, has to sort of give them that, what is it that I'm trying to say? Like the symbolic sort of like nod, like I like you and appreciate you, men. I'll spit some water at you. You know what I mean? When he goes to the side of the
Well,
stage.
they're
he spits-
equals, aren't they? They're both just hardcore rockers.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's another one of those instances where Triple H is sort of doing something, and I'm thinking, you thought that was a bit cooler when it was written down on a bit of paper. Here's my appreciation for you, Lemmy. spitting right in his face. But I thought it was fantastic for both the right and the wrong reasons. It's just that energy, isn't it? That energy that sort of, that kind of music gives off at a wrestling event. I quite like it.
Yeah, with the exception of the tricycle one, as you put it. I can't think of a Triple H entrance that I haven't thought, oh man, that's fun to watch. And even you know what? Actually, no, even the tricycle one was. It's silly, but I like to think that as he's got older, he's got a bit more self-aware. I think they're a little bit tongue-in-cheek at this point. But then again, I was saying that about Chris. I was talking about Chris Jericho in the same way, and I don't think that's tongue-in-cheek anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Where do you want to go for the Lemmy and the rest of the
lovely. I think
lovely.
it's fair.
We'll go in there. That's going to kick off a few comments, I reckon, just because of how beloved Motorhead is. But he got the words wrong. Nah, it's just we'll put it in there. I think it's fantastic, but in both the sense of being a great performance and just in terms of the stuff that went wrong. Next up, we have WWE's favourite band in the world ever.
Whole world, not just world, whole world, please.
And the rest of the universe as well. We have Limp Bizkit playing The Undertaker out at WrestleMania 19. Roland, of course. But you wouldn't know that because if you watch it on the network today, I doubt it's made it to Peacock on that subject, Adam. This one can't have made it to Peacock.
No, the licensing stuff.
On the network, I wasn't even thinking about that. Just on the network, it's a bleep every sort of half second.
Right. This is This is the second match on the card. So again, weird seeing Undertaker come out to daylight. I hate this, but for a completely, very unusual reason. And that is that I can't listen to Rollin' because it brings back such bad memories.
Of?
Upsetting my mum. She gave me there was a new line of WWF figures released in Woolworths. It's another Woolworths story, and before I worked there, obviously, and she gave me 40 quid to go and buy these figures. They were £6 each, so I was left with £4 change, and Roland was number one, I think, in the UK charts at the time, and it was $3.99. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to spend that. I'm just going to spend that remaining money that she's asked me to bring back on Rollin' air raid vehicle. What's it called? The full title. Yeah. So I got that, and I got home, and she was like, "Well, you've really upset me there, Adam, because I gave you money to buy the figures and the figures only, and since then I can't listen to it. It really reminds me of upsetting my mum. So it's getting in the bin."
Could you not have passed it off as a present for your mum?
She's a big fan of Fred Durst.
I would just love to see that. Just like, that's that for me, Adam. Oh, how thoughtful of you. This new hip hop and happening song. It's number one in the charts, ma'am. You're gonna love it. She puts it in the tape player, and then off it goes, and just.
She already had it. That's the problem. She's always. I come in and she's always talking about doing it for the nookie and breaking stuff. And
is she a crack addict as well?
Yep. Hopefully she's not watching. She sure is.
I feel like I've been a disrespectful arsehole here. I do apologise.
That's
anyway,
quite all right. She's used to it.
Bin? Are you going bin, are you?
No, not. It's not one of the. I'm not a massive fan of Big Evil, of Biker Taker. So this is just like all right for me.
I agree. I actually prefer. I don't know if it was just the. Sorry, wait, we're going all right. I just haven't listened to you there. You've said words.
Yeah, all right. I think.
All right, yeah. I prefer the not live version of Roland at WrestleMania. I'm just thinking WrestleMania X7. I don't know if that's because of the ramp, but I just love it when Undertaker opens up the taps on his bike and just goes yeeting down the aisle with it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance by Limp Bizkit. One of the better live performances by a band. I think they nailed it. But yeah, bad memories for me. Stick it in all right.
It's in all right. It's a shame that Fred Durst has sort of tarnished his relationship with that finger. The finger poke.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they pull him out the audience or something?
Something like that, yeah. He's certainly not been heard from since in terms of wrestling, has he really?
So what? The camera went to him and he went like that, and the next thing you know, he's out the seat. What a badass.
I know, so cool.
Austin did it every week. Piss off.
Terrible. Next up, we are going to WrestleMania 30, sorry. Triple H's sort of skull, king, crown, robe thingy, where, of course, we have Sasha Banks, we have Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss as the three ladies in and around him, taking off his robe and his golden skull, king, crown thing that covers his head and his...
Yeah, he's got the Scott Steiner chainmail on as well. I liked Stephanie's involvement here, where she's dressed up like, I don't know, she's on sexy version of Dragon's Den or something. But she has so much heat. So you remember what she's wearing at the beginning?
I can't remember Stephanie being a part of this one.
No, yeah, Steph introduces him as she's like, oh, he's the COO, he's the next world champion, Triple H. She looks the part. And there's the big orchestral number, and then it's a really, really great visual. It's a great shot where he takes off that mask.
I was laughing again.
It's great. Oh, come on.
It zooms slowly in, and it just sort of gets to a point where it's just his head taking up the entire screen, and it's just him going like...
He's so grumpy all the time. Cheer up, mate. You're at WrestleMania. Think of the payday. No, I like this one. I really like this one. It set the stage nicely for the match. I would put this in lovely, lovely, lovely again.
Go on, why the hell not? It's just every single entrance I'm finding out now about Triple H. There's something to love in terms of being just a fantastic presentation, but there's also something to love in terms of being him thinking he's cool, but he's not quite being cool. And there's something to be loved about that one. But next up, we're going to WrestleMania 32, Adam. Sasha Banks and Snoop Dogg and confetti. And I don't care what you say about Snoop Dogg's performance, Sasha Banks felt like a proper star here, I thought.
Yeah, she felt absolutely massive. I was just laughing there about me and you commenting on coolness of people.
What do you mean?
What a couple of wankers.
What do you mean? This hoodie cost me £8 from Burton's this year.
I'm here in a Simon and Garfunkel t-shirt. It looks like it says Seaman and Garfunkel as well. Yeah, right. Sasha Banks. Snoop Dogg, he's got the blinged up mic. The Eddie-inspired gear as well was a nice touch. She felt huge. She's always looked like a star, but this is the first time I remember thinking, yeah, Jesus Christ, she's special, isn't she?
So fresh, yo. Snoop Dogg and Sasha Banks were the best, yo. Make way for the new coming through. And if you want to win, she says she coming for you. Hands up in the air. When I say hell, you say yeah. Hell?
Yeah.
Hell?
Yeah.
Sasha, how you do that deal? She's a legit boss, but y'all knew that. The big dog boss. Yeah, I had to do that. That's my family, and we so G bow down to the new champ of WWE.
Slash. Can I go to the toilet? Have you got the lot there?
Just finished there. Just
thought
I'd write down the lyrical masterness of Snoop Doggy Dogg. Who might have been completely blazed off his box the night before the Hall of Fame, because we walked down the street in Texas and there was a massive limo there, and to say there was copious amounts of weed smoke bellowing out the sunroof, and I'm just putting two and two together and probably getting something wrong there, but you know.
It couldn't have been anyone else there, could it? It was definitely Snoop.
Yeah.
I feel like Snoop, when he pops up, because he pops up on everything, he's shilling everything right now. He's on the Just Eat ads, but he does the lot, doesn't he? It feels a little bit less special, but this felt very special. I would put this in the best.
So would I.
I love this entrance.
I need to clarify as well, by the way. It was down the road from the Hall of Fame when he was getting inducted. That's why I've put two
Okay, right.
I haven't just said that,
definitely.
To be a bit of a bastard, Adam. But there we go. Sasha Banks, straight in the best. I agree there. Now we're going to WrestleMania 31. This
is what I mean by a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It's got to be.
It's not, though, is it? You know it's not. We start off with shots. I think it's of San Francisco, because that's in the area where WrestleMania 31 was. I know it was Santa Clara or whatever, but, semantics and all that. There's a massive bridge. Panning shots of all kinds of stuff. Then we see some things happen. Arnie appears on the screen saying, "I've been waiting for you." And then Skeleton I haven't seen Terminator ever, Adam.
Nor me, mate. Nor me. There was a new one out, right?
Shiny silver skeleton Terminator men just appear on the stage with guns and stuff like that. And then the stadium is declared a really hostile environment. And then slowly rising up from below the stage is our pal Paul, dressed in his little Terminator mask. And he's got those chain link sort of skull weight things in his hands.
Bionic arms sort of thing.
Yeah, bionic arms are on as well. And then Arnie's back and he says, "WrestleMania, Judgment Day is here." Just like that. And then time to play the game sounds. And then fantastically so, as if the visual clues weren't enough, the clues weren't enough, Michael Cole has to mention that WrestleMania is brought to us by Terminator Genesis.
I really loved it when it popped up, as if we hadn't just watched the video package. Target acquired. Sting. Oh, that's who he's wrestling, is it? Oh! I imagine this was a lot cooler if you're a fan of the Terminator films. We are both not. It's basically, Arnie was available. They're getting paid $1 million to shill the film. They've got to stick it somewhere. Triple H, go on then. It works. It was his silliest one, wasn't it? This is way sillier than the trike. During daylight as well.
Triple H is of that age where I think Terminator would have been coming out when he was in his adolescence, maybe. Yeah, it would have been the coolest thing going in the world. So maybe that's the boyhood dream coming true at WrestleMania 31. Triple H getting to dress up as Arnie, kind of, in his own way.
Hey, they got paid a fortune. I'm trying to find positives here. It was It's not in the bin. Just about bearable. Oh, but it's funny, isn't it?
It's hilarious.
Can we not change this to funniest? We'll do the funniest one.
Where's 33? 33 isn't the best. So 33 isn't the best. We've got to put this in the best for similar reasons.
Yeah,
if not more severe reasons, because this is a different level of, like, not quite understanding it maybe isn't the best idea to I don't know. Each to your own, eh? If you find that cool, all the power to you, I guess. But now we're going to WrestleMania 32 again, and the massive box of bootios on the stage. It gets tipped over. Out comes some bootios, but also all 3 members of the New Day. And let me tell you, Adam, being there in person and being on that side of the arena where you sort of saw the bottom of the box when it got tipped up, seeing the New Day just sort of come out the normal entranceway and sort of just skip their way into the bottom of the box. It was just a massive hole. And then
I didn't know that.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I assume they tumbled over and then have to get up and adjust their Dragon Ball Z outfits. Oh, you've ruined the magic for me there. Right, on TV then, this really, really worked. I can't think of a single wrestler or wrestlers that could have gotten a box of cereal over like the New Day did. And I genuinely think it was really fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time watching this. And then you get the League of Nations coming out and kicking the bootios everywhere. It's cheap heel bollocks, but it was fun. It's like, oh, you're not allowed to have fun. We're having fun. Get out. That was very Alan Partridge. Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't put it in the best, but I put it in lovely, lovely, lovely. They're just having I imagine this is even better if you like Dragon Ball Z. I don't know anything about it, but I believe they are Super Saiyans there, Ross.
Oh, is that a good thing or?
Oh yeah, Vegeta is the main guy, and I think he dresses like that. I'm gonna get a bollocking in the comments because I'm probably wrong, but they've all got that sort of gear on without the unicorn horn.
I tell you what, though, we were speaking about Triple H just thinking he was badass and cool when maybe he wasn't. These 3 lads knew how naff their little bit at the start was, and they played up to that fantastically well.
Well, that's the thing.
I've got this picture after watching the way they entered for this WrestleMania entrance. Just a New Day when they see Triple H just gathering backstage and just cackling all the way through from start to finish. Because you would, wouldn't you? Or would you? Would you be scared too if you were backstage in WWE to just start cackling with laughter when Triple H is coming out?
Mate, yeah, I'd do it behind his back. But everybody's going to be having a titter there, aren't they?
Stick the knife in. Then we're going back to WrestleMania 31, Adam, so that's in lovely, lovely, lovely. And we have Sting's really weird entrance.
Why? It's like, right, I guess they can't do the coming down from the rafters or whatever because it's an open-air arena. Whatever.
And it's daytime.
But Japanese drummers? What's that about?
Yeah.
Why? What was that? It's not especially in fitting with Sting's gimmick, is it? Unless I've missed something. Am I forgetting something here where he, in WCW for 2 years, he came back with Japanese drummers?
I mean, because I honestly have no idea either. So I asked the most sort of introspective and deep person I know. So I've gotten slack to Sam this morning. I was like, Sam, what's the hidden meaning of Sting's entrance at WrestleMania 31? And Sam made it abundantly clear that he had no idea. Because he initially was thinking, Alexa, stop. He was initially thinking that sort of the Sting Crow gimmick and sort of Brandon Lee and then Bruce Lee and maybe China, but then obviously not. You see the massive Japanese flag on the drum in the middle of the stage. So that's sort of logical hypothesis. That's taken off the table. So we have no idea what the sort of tie-in is here for Sting and that sort of entrance there. It was just completely baffling.
I feel like maybe they had booked it for someone else. Maybe they had a returning Japanese superstar or something, or Hideo Itami was going to do something fancy, and then he pulled out. So it's like, Sting, do you fancy these drummers? We paid them. Stick them out there, but paint their faces, look like Danhausen. I think this was just about bearable. It's funny again.
It is funny again. Sam found out who the drumming thing is. It's the San Francisco Taiko Dojo. That's who did the drumming.
Fascinating.
You have a dojo for drumming. So it's in just about bearable. I would argue it could get in the bin because it just, as with the rest of that match as a totality, it just completely missed the mark and got the tone of everything wrong. We don't care about the war in 2015. It was long gone. You won it, WWE. You don't need to win it again, you silly billies. Sting just about bearable. It was just nice to see Sting at WrestleMania, I guess. Now I like the red coat and little red tears on his face. It was nice.
If they were going to do it proper WCW versus WWE, they should have been black and white all the way.
Fair enough. Now we're going back to WrestleMania 27, The Miz's entrance, where if you watched from the start of the video package backstage to the end of The Miz's entrance, you might think that The Miz is the single biggest star in professional wrestling because this was fantastic.
Amazing. I think this is one of the most underrated video packages in not just WrestleMania history, WWE history. I think it's so well put together. He feels the absolute bollocks. And he almost sort of wished they'd played it on Raw the week before so people would have been a bit more hyped because nobody was believing Miz as a main eventer or a world champion or anything, but he felt like an absolutely massive deal. Not even Alex Riley could ruin that. God bless him. I'm not the biggest fan of the big, blow up lettering.
Yeah, that was a bit like kids' party in the back garden, wasn't it? You know, sort of hiring it out as and when you can. But aside from that, the pyro, just the as we said, the package before that, everything else I thought was fantastic. So maybe the letters weighed down to a lovely, lovely, lovely spot.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
We'll go lovely, lovely, lovely. But then, of course, the match happened, and you went back to thinking that, oh no, The Miz is not a main event star. He's just, well, lucky.
Yep. Hey, at least he had a good run with it this time round.
Yes, of course. Now we're going back to WrestleMania 20, The Undertaker's return as the Deed Man, as we would say up here in Newcastle upon Tyne. It starts with Paul Bearer's shocking return to WWE with the on the old
big pop,
yeah.
Big pop. Understandably.
Yeah, I think it was the first time he was seen for about 3 or 4 years, wasn't it, at that point?
Ages, yeah.
Yeah. Then we have the Flames, obviously harking back to WrestleMania 14, as we spoke about earlier. Down he comes. Because I had no idea what to expect when I was young. I remember not having access to Sky back when WrestleMania 20 was happening. So I relied on my information from a pal. So I was like, draw me a picture. Show me what he looked like when he came back. And my pal Adam drew the picture. And I didn't know what to make of it. Because not that it was a bad drawing. It was a good drawing. Just Undertaker not quite being the dead man, but sort of an amalgamation of everything we'd seen to that point. I was like, oh...
He looks amazing here. He really does. That's a very sweet story, by the way. I really like Bearer. I'm a really big Bearer fan anyway. But there's a great line where he goes, "My son, you're no son of mine," to Kane, who's in the ring, and it's brilliantly delivered. And then he turns round and summons the Undertaker with the urn. I think it's a really epic entrance. It's one of my favourite Taker entrances. Still not my favourite, but it's up there. I'd still put it in the best.
Yeah, 14's in the best, so 14's in the best. We've got to go there because we've got a bit of added Paul Bearer here, haven't we? Which everybody loves. Come a long way from shagging Undertaker's mum on the kitchen floor, haven't we? That's how Kane was created in story.
No, I know.
Now we're going to WrestleMania 33 from the best all the way down to the bin, surely. We have Randy Orton's big wiggly sperm.
Yeah, I didn't understand this. And when you said that we were doing best WrestleMania entrances ever, I was like, oh, what was special about it? And then I remembered the spunk. Not just that, but the biggest golden shower you've ever seen behind him as well. All of that stuff. But it was like he was scared of the spunk as well, if I remember correctly. He was sort of backing away from it as if it could pounce up and get him. It's the same bloke who was terrified of maggots 20 minutes later, so fair play. It
was weird how that picture was just sort of composed, because how could someone put it together and have such a massive head on the Sammy Snake, and then such a tiny body, and not see that it looked like a sperm? Terrible. Straight in the bin for me.
In the bin.
To be honest, I was just saying, Adam, before we started recording this, you find when you look back at special WrestleMania entrances, a lot of the same people had that sort of honour bestowed upon them. There wasn't much variety in terms of special WrestleMania entrances, so I was just trying to throw a different name in there other than Shawn Michaels or Triple H or The Undertaker or Cena.
You did a great job with the spunk.
Thank you, Adam. Next up, we're going back to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, the zip wire. Of course, we all know the story of Vince McMahon doing the rehearsal while dressed as Ronald Ulysses Swanson from Parks and Recreation after he had a night of sexual intercourse. He would dress like Tiger Woods the day after, Adam, after he did that the night before. Vince McMahon was doing similar things here, so we can only imagine what you were doing with Linda the night before. What that was about, I've got no idea there. But Vince McMahon, of course, the commentator of the piece here. Look, I was going
to make a Linda McMahon pop joke, but it's too easy, isn't it? When you think of iconic WrestleMania entrances, this is the one that springs to mind for me. Yeah. It's obviously the best. And Vince McMahon on commentary is one of the funniest things that's ever happened in wrestling. He's like, unbelievable, what a ride! And it's like he's never seen him before. At one point he goes, oh baby, you can do it better than me.
I'm not going to do it. That was the period of time where Vince McMahon spoke like he was breathing in all the time. I can't quite do that one. What a ride. Oh, I can't quite do that one.
No, I can't. It's amazing though. Jose Lothario coming out before, and then doesn't he get on the turnbuckle and he points up. It's just like, all right, there's this old bloke here. What's going on? And then just the rafters, and he's going mental on the way down. Vince just makes it 50 times better as well. I love this.
I love it as we're seeing this guy who's like, as Vince McMahon says, 100 feet in the air. He's doing all this stuff for Shawn Michaels and he could. And Vince McMahon is like, is that who we think it is? Who else? There is only one Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. What a ride, etc., etc. Straight in the best. That is WrestleMania in an entrance right there for me. Now we'll go to WrestleMania 29, one of the Undertaker's more iconic entrances, I guess. Just that shot at the top of the ramp. You've got all the NXT lads and lasses dressed in Lycra from head to toe, which I didn't realize was red until watching this back. You see, they're in red suits.
Oh, I didn't realize
You'd
that,
expect it to be black, wouldn't you? But it's not. It's red. Why that matters, I've got no idea. It's the ghouls from WrestleMania 29 reaching up, trying to pull the Undertaker back down to hell. Is that what we're going for here? That sort of aesthetic?
Yeah, back into the ground from whence he came, or Suitin. This resulted in literally, I think, my favourite wrestling photograph ever. Which is just WWE have released it. I think everybody's seen it. But yeah, the hands all out there. Just the silhouette. It's created one of the best visuals in wrestling history, maybe the best. It's so good, and he's got his little spiky shoulder pads on. He looks terrifying. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is his apart from the Boneyard, I guess it's his last great WrestleMania match as well, with the build-up with Punk and the Urn and Paul Bearer's death. Now that one got worked in, and it was just fantastic stuff from top to bottom. Is this in the best? Good. I would assume so.
Oh yeah, God, near the top as well. I think it goes Shawn, then this Taker one for me.
Wow, we'll do that at the end.
Sorry.
You've done these videos before. Don't spoil
My
it.
bad. Sorry, Gary.
Finally, we have John Cena's car at WrestleMania 23 because Ford Field, therefore cars made by Ford, must go through comedy glass windows.
I remember this being a lot cooler than it actually was. I watched this back this morning, right? And in my mind, Cena just went, smash through it. He doesn't. He goes, and then slowly goes to it, stops, and then goes, pop, and makes his way through it.
But still, Jim Ross is shocked and appalled by what he sees. He lets out a really concerned, oh my God!
It's all right. It's all right. It feels very John Cena, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what it feels like, Adam. It feels like John Cena is actually what we would call up here a chava. You might call it a chav from Ashington, a particular rough area of the northeast up here, who would just sit in Aldi car park on a Friday night. That's what the sort of vibe I was getting from this. I know it was a nice car and whatnot, but still, just popping wheelies and stuff. Grow up, John, will you? Come on,
what a nuisance. Asbo him.
Exactly. So where you are, this is bottom 2 tiers for me. I think it's...
I wouldn't quite put it in the bin.
We'll go bearable, on the same level as Sting. Why the hell not? But there we have it. We've been just shooting now for 52 minutes. Record-breaking times on this tier ranking malarkey. We've come to the end. There were the random selection of 25 entrances, special entrances from WrestleMania past. Now, of course, it's as tradition on the tier ranking thing. Try and forget what Adam said about 2 minutes ago. Let's try and find out what the best is in terms of what's in the best tier on this tier ranking thing.
Well, they know mine. You do yours, Ross.
No, but it's always the guest that does them, Adam. We have Charlotte Flair's helicopter entrance from WrestleMania 32 going up against Undertaker at WrestleMania 14.
Taker.
Now we have the Cerebral Dadass at WrestleMania 33 up against Undertaker at WrestleMania 14.
Cerebral Dadass.
Oh my God. Now we have Rusev in the Tank against
Cerebral Dadass.
Oh, now we have Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Cerebral Dadass.
Don't do this. Sasha Banks at 32.
Cerebral Dadass.
Here's a Clash of the Titans for you. Triple H at WrestleMania 31 against the Cerebral Dadass. Terminator against Tricycle.
Terminator.
Undertaker at 20.
Terminator.
Shawn Michaels at 12. What a ride.
Yeah, Terminator, I think.
And then Undertaker at 29.
Probably Terminator.
So there we have it. In the opinion of Cultaholic Wrestling, one of the leading wrestling YouTube channels in the world, the greatest special entrance, well, not in WrestleMania history, there could be one we've missed off today, and sorry again if we did miss your favourite, but the greatest entrance out of the 25 iconic ones listed here is Triple H, dressed as the Terminator from WrestleMania 31.
No, it's Shawn at 12, then 29 Taker. There you go.
Terminator at WrestleMania 31 is the best. That's it. Any closing remarks today, Adam?
No, I've really enjoyed it. It's good to be back, Gary.
Lovely. Thank you for coming on.
See you in a bit.
Bye.